Farming keys early ladder can make you easily rich, as those 4 key sets can actually yield you an identified torch early on that can, in particular, become paladin, sorceress, or maybe Amazon torch that can then be sold for a good fortune, high rune or 2. So why not to embrace this opportunity early on? Here is a quick and special shout out to all my members and supporters on the stream. Thank you guys so much. So when we are talking about budget farming keys, we are namely targeting 3 areas: Countess, Summoner and Nihlathak. And let's be fair, one of the hardest bosses of all of them is the Nihlathak. So let's take a look at the skill build first. Of course, we take Frost Nova just for crowd control and Frozen Armor for extra defense and survivability. In the Lightning we go Telekinesis and Teleport. And our main damaging skills is going to be Nova, because it is easy to target and requires only 3 synergies to shine through very early on. It deals decent damage and Lightning Mastery to improve it overall. Our secondary skill to deal damage is Fireball, because it requires less synergies in this sense. Sometimes Nihlathak can turn lightning immune and we really need it. When we're talking about budget farmer, of course it has to be Sorceress, because teleporting is a must, especially for Countess and Summoner. Nihlathak is a little bit easier, so you can see the gear on the screen, nothing really crazy. All you need is actually good resistances and then 2 spirits, lore, stealth. You can of course change, and I will show you alternatives. It is important to pick up Strings of Ear for extra survivability and physical damage reduction, and fill up your charms inventory with life and resistances. Those are the most important, because Sorceress is pretty squishy early on, especially on a budget without CTA and all the other vitality boosting things. As for the alternative equipment, of course, as long as you go and progress with your equipment, you can sell more stuff and buy them back. Of course, Hotter will be amazing, Shaco for extra survivability is good, then also Boots with the Silk Whips will help your mana sustain, and so on. Priorities would always be, in this particular case, capping resistances, adding physical damage reduction in percentage. Also you can add physical damage reduction in flat, for example with a Soul Rune in your Shaco. Adding Fire Absorb will help with the Nihlathak explosions as well, and then just boosting your overall life pool. But regardless, prepare to die at Nihlathak, because he will be really deadly. 2 really easy items that you can get early on. First of all, it's Wizard Spike for a whopping 75% all res, and the second one is Nature's Peace, which is pretty much mandatory for your Nihlathak farm. Honestly, without it on a budget you won't be able to sustain his corpse explosions, so make sure to trade it or focus farm for it, but most likely you will have to trade for it after your first lucky attempts in finding those keys. As for the Mercenary, the key points here are of course Insight, because Nova is very mana hungry. Also Treachery will be very helpful for him to sustain, and some Helmet with the Life Leech, and maybe later on you can get some Shaft Stop for damage reduction as well. Normally he would survive, but he could also be a problem for you because of killing random monsters at Nihlathak that Nihlathak will actually explode in your face. But to be honest, farming Nihlathak without Mercenary is really difficult, because there is usually a lot of things. One trick that I could suggest you is using a Nadir Helm for the Cloak of Shadows. That can help you early on as well to eliminate all the other monsters from the fight, at least in the beginning. So this is something that you can definitely use, such an overlooked item for here. On a budget, once again, you probably don't want to Telestorm Nihlathak, but rather take it easy and a little bit cautiously, approaching him from, sides, and making sure that you clean up things before you attack him. Also, snakes are lightning immune, so it is important to have a secondary skill to damage them, otherwise your Mercenary will actually make a deal of them and it will be difficult. Poison resist is quite important there. As you have seen, there is a lot of snakes and they deal decent amount of damage, so you don't want to really constantly lose your health, while Nihlathak can explode in your face every second. And as you can see later on, with really good gear like Enigma, Shaco and all of that stuff, Verdango, you still have quite some chances to die, because its place is no joke. Don't worry about it, your point here is to farm keys and don't stop at that and it will go through. Thank you so much for watching and see you next time.